So, hi everyone. Today, we're going to see like about project, okay, about complete project, okay, and what are the layers in the project, and how we going to receive the like requirement, okay, who going to handle it, and what is in that what is our work, okay. So why we are doing that project, okay. So we're going to discuss those things, okay. So here project type and domain. Okay, so it is like a healthcare data migration project. Okay, so healthcare data migration project. One second. Okay, healthcare data migration project. Okay, so what is the goal here? So migrating healthcare data from legacy systems into Snowflake, transform using dbt, and provide analytics ready data for report. So this is the requirement, okay. So migrate healthcare data from legacy systems into Snowflake, so transform using dbt and provide analytics ready data for reporting. Like so we have data in legacy system. Legacy systems means like Oracle, SQL Server, okay, some other like CRM systems. So we have data, so we need to those data we need to migrate into the Snowflake. Why? Because of Snowflake we can do the data processing, for we can give data for reporting team, but we can't handle everything in the Oracle. Okay, so it hard to need if you want to maintain in the Oracle, it will take more cost and it is hard to maintain in the Oracle. But Snowflake completely cloud, right? So easy to maintain. Okay, so what is domain in healthcare? Okay, so just here, see, the project type is healthcare, okay, uh, data migration project. So not only migration, after migrating data, we are developing also, and analytics project. Okay. So from legacy systems to, okay, legacy systems we have to Snowflake, we need to migrate the data and provide for analytics ready data for report. So what you're going to mention in the resume, you're going to put in the resume domain healthcare. Healthcare. Okay. So what is we going to receive data? Business data. What is the business data here? So here one is like patient's details. Patient's details we're going to receive. Then we're going to claims like insurance claims. Okay, so why I'm telling these tables means in interview they will ask, okay, what type of data you going to receive, and what are the tables, what are the columns inside the tables. They going to ask in that interview. So that's why you need to know about tables and everything. So business data is we going to receive patients claims like insurance claims and billing. Then we're going to receive providers. Okay, and again you're going to see like payments here. So payments data providers, then going to have like appointments and clinical data, clinical records and the doctor's tables, okay, hospital tables, insurance tables. We're going to talk. receive, okay, and drugs tables. Drugs means like medicine tables. Medicine tables we're going to see. Okay. So here, what is the technology stock here? What is the technology stock? What is the technology stock here? Okay. So what are the technologies we're going to use here? Okay. Here we are going to use Oracle, not we. This is one Oracle. So and then SQL Server. These are the source. So do not confuse. So enter they will ask what is your source, main source. Is it? You can go with Oracle or SQL Server. So after we come into the picture, this is Oracle. Then here next come ADF. ADF and here there are Informatica team. Okay, and it is a ETL. Then AWS S3. Okay, and Blob, Azure Blob. Okay, storage and GCP. Okay, these are okay. So we have data in Oracle and SQL Server. There is ETL team. So using ADF or Informatica, the ETL team. So they're going to push the data into S3 bucket or Azure Blob storage or into the GCP. You can call here GC GCS. Okay. These things. And after that, Snowflake. Okay. This cloud data warehouse. We going to migrate data into cloud. We need whenever we have data in the S3. So after that, we need to load those data into the this Snowflake cloud data warehouse. Whenever we have data inside the Snowflake, then we need to connect with the dbt. Okay, is a ETL two. dbt is a ETL two. Sorry, here comes dbt is not ETL. It is ELT two. Here, these are ETL, extract, transform, load. Okay. First, they're going to do extract the data and they're going to transform the data. Then after they're going to load into the S3 or blob or GCS. But here, DBT, ELT, extract, load, transfer. Whenever the data is extracted, after loading into the warehouse, then it going to do the transformations. Remember, whenever the data extracted and loaded into the warehouse, then after only DBT going to do the transformations. Okay, remember this. So this is completely technology stuff. Okay, then after what comes in the picture? Any guess? What is the come to after doing the transformations? What is the next?
Dashboards. We can display on dashboards like
Yeah, Power BI
Tableau.
tab tab. Okay, Power BI Tableau for reports. Okay, so these are things. Okay, here in Intel Developer, what is your source? What is your target? Okay, here mention source is okay, Oracle and target is Snowflake. So if you say like this, they're going to ask you how you load data Oracle to Snowflake. Okay, so whenever you are telling about your source and target, you need to be clear. Okay, if you say Oracle and source and target is Snowflake, they're going to how you load data Oracle to Snowflake. Then you're going to say, I'm loading data from S3. You're going to start. Again, they will ask, not that you told your source is Oracle, right? Then how you are loading that data into Snowflake, they're going to ask. So remember, simple, you need to tell clarity. You have the clarity. So what is your source? S3. What is your target? Snowflake. Okay, your source. So, okay, and target is Snowflake. If they are what is, so from where you are getting the data means usually you need to explain. So, like Oracle is the main source. The ETL team, they are pushing data into S3. So we are loading data into the Snowflake. So here for my source is like S3 and target is Snowflake. Complete project source is Oracle. Okay. Project source is Oracle. So I'm loading data. If they ask about how you load data Oracle to Snowflake, you need to explain there is a ETL team. So they're going to push data into S3. So after that, as a Snowflake developer, my work would be start. So then using some integration and copy command, we're going to load data into the Snowflake template. Okay. So what is your main source? Oracle and target Snowflake. Okay. So what is your source? Oracle. What is your source? Target Snowflake. If they ask how going to load Oracle to Snowflake, then you need to explain. There is ETL team. They will push data into S3. So here for my in my work, start from S2 to Snowflake. Here S3 is my source and target is Snowflake. Completely the main source completely project that is Oracle. Okay, and different source system, not only Oracle SQL Server, CRM system. Okay, so this is target. Okay, then after loading data into the Snowflake, then we need to connect with dbt. So it is a ELT tool. So with this tool, we need to do the transformation. Okay, so after that, we will share data with the these Power BI and Tableau, they're going to do the they're going to with what we shared. So with that, they're going to generate the reportings. Okay. So this is the completed technical stack here. So in between, so after getting job into the Snowflake, you need to go with learning the Python, okay, SpyPark, okay, and the Snowflake Cortex AI. Okay? Snowflake Cortex AI, you need to learn. Then only we can survive after 2 years. If you don't learn, you can't survive in the Snowflake. Okay, because of we have genetic AI, agentic AI, right? So in Snowflake Cortex AI is the genetic AI. Okay, you need to go with. Okay, then you don't. Whenever there is layoff, still you can be surviving the let's say Snowflake data. Okay, and Cortex. So learn this. Okay, so this is the completely technology stack. Okay. In between, they're going to use Airflow. What is your scheduling tool? So here in dbt, we have dbt cloud, and you can schedule. But in company project, they're going to for scheduling Airflow. They are using that is a different team. Airflow, Python. Okay. So we have other tools, right? Airflow, Python. You go with Airflow. But I have not worked with the Airflow. I have just basic knowledge. If you want, okay. If you don't tell, okay, I have not worked with Airflow. You can tell directly. The team going to schedule. So as of my work, I have scheduled using the dbt cloud. Okay, dbt cloud we can schedule. Okay, CI/CD pipeline, continuous integration, continuous deployment. We can move the data dev to test to production. Move data means like moving the code dev to test to production. That we can using dbt we can do connect within GitHub and everything. Okay, so this is the complete technical stuff. Okay, so for Python and Spyper, they're going to use for data processing. They're going to data processing. They're going to these things. So this is completely technical stack. Next, remember simple flow. Okay, so Oracle to ETL team, they're going to push data S3. S3 to we need to load data into Snowflake into the raw layer. So after that, staging and Snowflake created or so I will type. Okay, so simple Oracle maybe SQL Server. Okay, here. So then ETL team. Okay, ADF or they would use Informatica. Then they push the data into S3. Okay. Then first after when we have data in the S3 bucket, okay. So we need to load data into Snowflake, right? So where you load what is the layer you can call here. So in Snowflake we have raw layer. So raw layer. We load data into the raw layer. Okay, Snowflake. Then after Snowflake. then we will connect with the DBT, right? So usually without a DBT, then we go with the Snowflake. Next, clean data, like deleting duplicate values, okay, unnecessary uh, spaces using trim, okay, data validation and row count, so validation checks and everything completely. We're going to have the clean data, okay, clean data without duplicates. So we're going to remove duplicate values and everything. So and removing the null values, okay, and those things we will remove, and we have completely clean data. So clean data. So we're going to put in the Snowflake staging layer. Uh, the data we uh, not clean, not clean data, not clean data. Here in Snowflake staging layer. So deduplication, clean data. We're going to have. Okay, this is okay. So here, see, I'm telling this without the DBT. Okay, before the DBT, directly we can do the transformation in the Snowflake. So previously, but nowadays we are using DBT. But previously without DBT, if have skills like SQL, S3 services, Snowflake, then you can become developer, Snowflake developer. But nowadays they are using for transformation DBT. Okay? So this is without the DBT. Then after Snowflake curated layer, you can go Mart layer. Okay. Here we're going to apply business logic, business logic, and fact and the dimension tables. And here we're going to do implement like a star schema. So we have Snowflake schema and star schema. Okay. Here we going to what when we have for when we are giving the data for the reporting team, we need to use the snow star schema, not Snowflake schema. Okay. So when in the curator layer, so final data. So if you want to share these data with the reporting team, so we need to use star schema, okay, not Snowflake schema. So in that time we'll discuss when we use Snowflake schema, when we use star schema. But in curator layer, we need to implement only star schema, okay, star schema because of it is easy to generate the reports. Okay, here we need to create the fact tables. Okay. Here, so dimension tables. Fact tables means like having the only going to have the numeric data. So dimension table means like having the stars description data. So similar, what is the star schema means? So simply, so this is the one fact table. Okay. So this is the dimension table, and this is the dimension table. Okay. This is the dimension table. The dimension table. Here it is going to connect with this one. Okay, this one, this one. I'm going to connect with this thing. Okay, this is star schema because it look like star in between under a star schema. Okay, so then again comes under this is subdimension table. This is subdimension table. Okay, we have connection like this. Okay, so this is the Snowflake schema. Okay, in star schema we going to have the fact table and dimension table. In Snowflake schema we going to have the fact table, dimension tables, and sub-dimension tables. Okay. So in depth we will discuss with the topics comes. Okay. So we will dive into all these things. Then this is Snowflake curator layer. So finally we have ready data. So next, okay, we going to share these data with the Power BI. Next. So then now, okay, don't when you are preparing interview at that time, don't need to again see these videos and these things. Okay, then now it is going to easy to clear it. Okay, this is Power BI Tableau for generating the reporting. Okay. So this is okay. So
Hello, Madhu.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have small doubt actually. Companies need to maintain both databases and Snowflake. Don't we directly upload to Snowflake?
I didn't get
Why
you.
do we maintain both databases and Snowflake? Can't we direct upload to Snowflake
So
data?
we have from where Oracle to Snowflake.
Yeah, yes.
No, that will if the data is small, we can do it. Okay. So, but here we have going to have the large data, right? So here we need to before loading data into the Snowflake, there is some issues. We need to do some transforms. There it will self with the ETL tape using Informatica and ADF. Then after that only we load data into Snowflake from STD Snowflake because of Snowflake built on cloud provider, right? On S3 or like Azure and GCP. So that's why they are moving data into the S3. S3 we are loading. If data directly we can move, there is like fewer data, only less data. So if we have like large data, so small data we can move direct Oracle to Snowflake. But if we have large data, so that is not right way to do. So we need to load data into S3. Then after we need to load into Snowflake because of in between we need to do the transformation using ADF and Informatica. So that's why directly usually we don't load data Oracle to Snowflake for the large. In rare scenarios, for the small data, even small also they will push into S3, but rare scenarios they will push data directly Oracle to Snowflake. So basically, we use only Oracle S3 is Snowflake. So this is also they asked in the interview why means simply that is not good method loading Oracle to Snowflake directly. So we need to between before loading we need to do some transformations using Informatica. That's why. So
Maybe maybe in future, like if new companies like developers also directly instead of install the databases, they can directly create the account of Snowflake and directly upload their stories to Snowflake. Is it possible then?
okay, direct you are mean like can we upload direct file into the Snowflake, right?
Yeah, every developer what they have written stories, right? Any features, like
Yes,
they have directly.
yes, directly we can upload into the Snowflake.
Okay, maybe in future that legacy databases maybe disappear, right?
Like yes, why? Because of so legacy means completely nowadays. Even we don't using like hard drives, memory cards, right? Completely we are handling every data in the cloud. So even our account, like Google Drive, we are using for photos. Completely everything going to store in the cloud, right? That's why nowadays we don't have data in the on premises and our local machine in the cloud. So that's
Yes.
why everything going to move cloud only. But still, in future it going even the SQL going to after 2 years there is no SQL after 2 years even we don't use the SQL. Now we are using the SQL, but after 2 years we don't use the SQL. It's going to be disabled. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is like see completely end-to-end data flow. Okay, here Oracle ETL team S3 Snow raw layer staging filtered. Okay, so this is I'm not included the DBT. Okay, here then now I'm including the DBT. Okay, so DBT comes where whenever we load a data into the raw layer. Okay, here DBT. So connected with the DBT, so we do the transformations. We do here uh, transformations like creating create models and the test. We do here test. Okay, we going to have this is on the raw data. Complete whenever you have data in the raw data, creating create models and doing the test. Okay, test. Okay, then this clean data going to store in the what we do writing models after test. That data going to reflect. Suppose I have customer table. Okay, the Snowflake in the raw layer. Okay, in the raw layer I have the customer table. Okay, and I'm connected with the DBT. So I'm creating one customer model. Okay, and I'm doing a unique not null accept values test on the table. So now the table going to be good having the clean data. So whenever I created model, I use dbt run command, then it going to build in Snowflake in staging layer one table, one table, or it may be like a view, maybe incremental or FM1. So basically, first we're going to create, when we run the model, it's going to be create our table or view as per the Metline issues. Table means it's going to create transcend table, okay, or view. So that we need to mention in the model. When we create in the model, we're going to mention table or view. Okay, the customer table we have it in the Snowflake. After when we have in the Snowflake, we connect with the dbt, then we create the model test. So when we create the model, when we run the dbt run, it's going to create table in the staging layer. Okay, it's going to create. Okay, so this is again okay raw layer. Then connect with the dbt, then it will create tables or views in the staging layer. Okay, this is when we are using the dbt. Okay, then after again curated layer here also dbt we having like so this is okay, then here also okay we apply the business logic and so we're going to create a fact and dimension tables in the dbt mart layers, then it's going to reflect in this mart layer or curated layer again. Okay, here we apply business logic. Okay, here in dbt we have like again like staging layer, intermediate layer, and we're going to have the uh, mart layer. Okay, this is our staging layer, and this is mart layer in the dbt mart layer. Okay, so this is raw layer. Next comes here one intermediate layer. Okay, or they used to call different like core layer, and sometimes we also have in dbt snapshot layer also. Okay, so this is staging layer having like raw data, and this is intermediate layer doing some joins. Okay, and snapshot like handling the historical data. This is final layer like mart layer. Okay, curator layer, mart layer, like curator layer, mart layer in the dbt. Okay, so the main layer, staging layer, intermediate layer, and the mart layer. Some in the some projects they are using the snapshot layer. It depends on their team. Okay, so this is the flow. Okay, then it comes to okay, got it right. How many layers in the Snowflake? What are the layers in the Snowflake? Just give me. You can see on the screen, right? What are the layers in the Snowflake? What are the layers in the Snowflake? Just now you can see and tell, right?
Yeah, staging, intermediate, and mark.
Snowflake in Snowflake.
Okay, Snowflake it's storage, compute, and closing.
I'm not asking Snowflake architecture. I'm asking about the project layers. You can
You
see on
mean
the screen.
raw layer, right?
Yeah, raw layer. Then next,
Yeah, it's raw layer, staging layer, and curated layer.
yeah. This is what are the layers in the Snowflake means. So this is raw layer, then staging layer, then the curated layer or mart layer. Then in dbt what are the layers? In staging layer, intermediate layer, and mart layer. Here we going to have the factor dimension tables. And some projects they are using the snapshot layer. Okay. So here we do create the models, giants, okay, not giants, create the models and like doing a test, unique, not null, acceptable values. Okay, generating the models, create models and test. Intermediate here what we do, here we do giants, joining the tables, in the tables. Okay, and then in snapshot, that is historical data, historical data. Okay, and in WT we're going to have again the same thing. Okay, uh, fact and fact and dimension tables. Hmm. item dimension tables. Yes, okay. So remember, you need to know in which layer what we do in Snowflake. Okay. So before Snowflake, directly our draw layer, cleaning the data and putting clean data in the staging layer, then final business logic we are applying the curator layer. When comes into the picture in DBT, then staging layer, we are doing the models with the test, intermediate layer, joining and like handling the historical data in snapshot layer, then Mart layer, fact and dimension tables. Okay, so these are things. Okay, how we do here and when we have data. Okay, these are the layers. Remember, so in the Snowflake next. Uh, so clear, right? Data flow. Okay, this point is clear. If anybody having any doubt, so no confusion, right? With these things, no confusion, right? If you have any confusion, let me know. I will explain. If you have any confusion, let me know. So next, so these are the next we see of environments. What are the environments we have? No, as of knowledge, you can tell what you know environments. What are the environments we have? Environments. What are the environments in the Snowflake? You have you already worked right somewhere. You all people. We have dev environment, right? These things, dev environment, developing, okay, and we do development. So we can call QA or test here for validation, and then we have production data. So these are the environment. Why are you thinking? What are the environments we have? Dev environment, QA test environment, production environment. Okay, here we're going to develop the what are data, then code and everything, and here we're going to validation and production. Okay, final. This one, this data. Okay, so how are we going to have the naming database environments naming in the Snowflake? Okay, so database naming. So dev, okay, then then QA health health DB, QA health DB, then prod health DB. Okay, so database naming like dev health DB, QA health DB, prod health DB. Okay, these things we have. So remember how they go. Okay, but in real time you're going to have the many database, not single in the Snowflake. So even you're going to have one database on your name. Okay, even you're going to have one database on your name also for what is your work. So for yourself you're going to have one database in real time. Okay, so these things, so we clear right about these are the environments. Okay, uh, okay, so remember one more right, okay, raw layer, so exact copy of source, raw layer, here exact copy of source data with no transformations. Okay, use it for audit and replay and staging, having the clean data, cost, data types, deduplicate and rename columns, and curated, having like completely business logic, fact table, dimension table, used by BA tools. Okay. Then DBT layers, model staging. Okay, uh, individual layers like in the we're going to have the models like staging models, intermediate models, and Mart models. Again, the staging clean raw data, rename the columns, and the intermediate layer join tables, apply logic, Mart and fraction and initial table. Okay, so next. what we okay, just loading the data, cleaning the data, that is not enough, right? So we need to handle the some other things. Okay, what is those things? Here we have incremental. Okay, so incremental and so incremental and CDC. Okay, so I this Jan month, this is March, right? This is sorry April. April I have data. Okay, so there is one project. Okay, I have received April data. April data. Okay, so think like bank data, bank. So this month I have done some transactions, okay, withdrawal and deposits, okay, using UPIs, okay, and using internet banking, everything I have done some transaction. You and me and you, every people, okay, going to go right. So I have done some transactions. Okay, this report. So April 30, you're going to share to the those team, okay, from source team. So they're going to collect the data. Okay, suppose we are doing the bank project, so bank are we going to receive April data? April data, okay. So then after next month, May comes. May also have some data, right? We going to the transfer like withdrawal and deposit. Okay, we going to use bank account. Okay, scanning UPA. Okay, we going to do some transactions, right? So May transactions, May data. So again, we going to send this data into the May month. Again, like we have June. So this is incremental data, right? Okay. So April data for this month, but next month also we will do some transactions, right? Again, we go the data comes from next month, May data, and again in the June data. So like that it's going to be. So this data we can call like incremental data. Okay. So this is incremental data. How we going to handle using streams. Okay. And we can call CDC change data capture, which is see change data capture. We're going to handle these data. Okay. So this increment we're going to handle using streams. That is, we can call like CDC change data capture. Okay, it means so. What is the meaning of CDC change data capture? If any changes in the data, it is going to capture the data. So meaning like that. Simple. So any changes in the data, it's going to capture the data. So how changes will be? Suppose I'm going to shop. I have bought a mobile. So with 30,000, and next day I call him. Okay, so people are giving some discount on the data. Discount on the data. Then 1 second. Let's sorry. So I bought a mobile and 30,000. So next day I know, okay, this is not mobile for the 30,000. So they are giving 10% discount. Okay, the pricing may be like 27,000. Okay, then I call to him. Then I so fine. Okay, I think only check one. Okay, awesome. Regarding that. So using streams. Okay, next I have bought mobile with for 30,000. So then next I go to call to him and there is a discount are giving 10%, but he given for 30%. So we going to ask the discount. I am a regular customer to give the discount of 10%. Okay, he got information the mobile on the 20% discount. Then the price going to change 30,000 to 27,000. Then this is uh, like change your record, right? Like updated data. This is updated data. Then this data when going to receive, right? Then this going to capture streams. Okay, CDC going to capture this data and it going to delete this one. It's going to update to the 27,000. Okay, that is CDC. This is for the update data. Even any insert data, it's going to capture. Okay, and suppose ID name salary. So ID is 100 and again ID 101 and again ID 102. Yesterday I got this data. Today again I'm getting same data. Okay, this is yesterday. Okay, yesterday I got this ID give some data 100, 100, 102, and today I got same data. So what it do these streams, it going to capture this data. Okay, okay, it's matching with yesterday. It means it's like duplicate data. So it means it going to capture this data and it not load again into the target table because if load it's going to be duplicated. So it not load again into the target table. It's going to capture. Okay, already we have same data, so it will going to it's not loading to the target table. These files means uh, clean data we won't have in the target table. Not load these duplicate data. Okay, so clear. This is and if anything deleted, suppose I receive this one. Okay, anything deleted, then it's going to capture and it's going to delete that data. That is Steve CDC change data capture. So when we are there, we're going to do deeply. Okay, so deeply we're going to see. Okay, these things, no worries enough now. Okay, this is only just completely work for. Okay, then next comes what is comes next. Enrollments we have completed. So here we need to use the streams. In the right incremental. Okay, it's like so stream CDC. I'm going to work with the streams in between and task for the scheduling. I'm writing a show, one SQL statement. I don't want to run again and again. Then I can create the task. It's going to run for every 1 hour, 15 minutes, for 10 minutes, 2 hours, like that. We need to schedule task. Then, so merge statement, we're going to use merge statement. Merge statement. Okay. And here, this thing directly we can do in the Snowflake. But in DBT, we have for this same concept we have so incremental models, and we have using like SCD type to slowly change its dimension. Okay, so usually what type of data is used for like if when we have the new patients and updated data claims, these data claims and corrected building data. We need to tell what type of incremental on which table you have applied. So you need to tell on the new patients table. That's why you need to put in your resume healthcare domain. You don't put bank. If you go with the retail, you can put retail, no worries. If you put bank, no worries. But you need to have the knowledge on the tables. Okay. It's used for new patients, updated claims, and corrected building these things. Okay. Then next we have SC type to write and indicate SCD type 2. So what are the SC types? Anybody having idea what are the how many SC types are there? How many SCD types are there? How many SC types are there?
Four types, Madhu. SCD type 0, type 1, type 2, and type 6.
Okay. Type 0, type 1, type 2, type 3. Okay.
Type 3 also, yeah, and type 6.
Type 4,
A
type
mix of all.
5, type 6. Okay. Totally
Okay,
we
okay.
have seven. Seven we have, but those are type 5 types. Like comes from previous, already previous types. It going to mix those types. Okay, the same. Okay, given type 0 to type 6. So is it type 2 here on the healthcare? Here what you do? So used for like a patient's address. So this going to change, right? Patient. Yeah, that's okay. And incidence change and doctor said. So what are the columns we have? Columns like here we need to must know about columns. Start date we going to have and the end date we going to have and is current. Is current date we going to have. Okay, start date, not date, date and current date. Okay, start date, end date and current date we call it. How we need see type. Okay, so why we need these SC types? So I'm using same bank account and I know my current balance. So I want to I need to know my financial details. I need to compare with each year. So I need to know last my 10 years bank transaction, or at least I need last 5 years. Or I need my bank transactions. So these data we need to maintain, right? So now, when we now I know my current balance, but I need to know about last data, last year and last year, and 5 years back, 4 years back. That is the historical data. So that data is historical data. So to maintain using SCD type 2, to manage using SC type 2. Okay, slowly change the dimension. Okay, that is historical data. For retail project, the client, okay, that so there is a company like laptop, okay, so they need to know what are the sales in the 2010 and what are the sales in the 2020 and what are the sales present, okay, how the sales graph changed, okay, what is the they're updated in that laptop, updated features, okay, so they going to like they need to know report everything, what is the price, features, how they, what is the reviews, like how many people bought though by those mobiles in area and different, what they like a camera, sound quality, they will have a signal, okay, so everything going to check, right? Okay, it's going to vary. Okay, so 2020 they going to release with some features, and 2015 some other features. So they going to know, they need to know the sales are low. They need to find out, okay, what we have done, the where is the where we have missed it. Then they will develop it, and next time they're going to give the better one, better product. So to maintain last from 2010 to present data, so that data we need to maintain. That is in the retail project. That in that scenario we going to use this historical data. So to handle using SC type. Okay, this thing. Okay, clear, right? So in that table we're going to have start date and current date. Okay. So you know already, right? Snowflake object warehouse, databases, schemas, tables, views, teams, tasks, store procedures, UDF stages. Everything we're going to discuss. Okay. So type. What is Snowflake? Warehouse we know, database we know, and the schema we know, and tables we know. And here we will have the views. Views are four types in the Snowflake. And the streams, tasks, Okay? And then again stored procedures. We could put and we put enough replace like that. It's going to work. Then again, UDF, user defined functions, just the requirement united stages. Okay, so data ingestion means data loading. Okay, data loading. Okay, source file into the external stage to commit to raw layer. So what type of Snowflake supports CSV, JSON, Parquet, MRF, these things. Okay, and what about security in the Snowflake? First, file types. Okay, we go to CSV, JSON, uh, JSON, TXT, Parquet, MRF, some other things. Okay, we going to see how are you going to secure the data? Security in the this one. Security. So RBAC policy, masking the data. So marking policy, secure views, audit logs. Okay. So what are the columns? Patient's name, email, phone, SSL incidents, ID. So what is your team size? So team size we going to have in the team. 8 to 12. Like client comes, okay. Then PM project manager. Then after architect comes in the picture. Then Snowflake admin, okay, and Snowflake developer, then dbt developer, BA developer, okay, then QA. So these are main. Okay, this complete 8 number client, project manager, architect, Snowflake admin, and Snowflake dev and developer, DB developer, QA, BA developer, and QA analyst. Okay, so these like we having in real time project. Okay, we're going to discuss more about tomorrow about these people what they going to do. Okay, but in we have Oracle DB, right? But in Snowflake we don't have the Snowflake DBA. Why? Because of everything handled in by the Snowflake completely, and if anything is there related, that admin going to do it. Okay, we don't have Snowflake DBA. Okay, so instead of that, everything handled by the Snowflake and handled by the Snowflake admin. Okay, remember. So we're going to discuss tomorrow about these roles and responsibilities. Okay, everything what they going to admin client. Okay, so tomorrow we will discuss. So one thing know about project flow, layers. Okay, that things right. Zero copy cloning, time travel, data loading, data unloading, transformations. Okay, those are like small things, but we need to know what is requirement completely real time. Okay, those things you can do. Okay, using YouTube and you can do that. Also, I will next classes. First, we need to know about project flow and everything. Those are we can do using YouTube and everything. Okay, so first know about theory, some practical application. Okay, so first we need to know about project. This zero copy cloning, data loading. So comes after this workflow. Okay, so this is project architecture. Then comes about RBAC. Then data loading. Okay, like using internal stages. Then after zero copy cloning, time travel features comes one by one. Okay, theory, practical, real time application. So as of now, any doubt? Yeah. So we will discuss about team size, who are they, what are they going to do, everything we will discuss. Then after next we go with the RBAC policy. Before that finish that data, okay, I going to share in the here. Okay, go with load all these files. Okay, files. Okay, we have okay, load into the table in the Snowflake. Create one Snowflake account, keep it in Notepad and send to me. Okay? Load into these files. Okay, guys, we will connect tomorrow. Same. We'll connect 8:15. I think that. But in the having for okay, 8:50 we will connect. Okay. So thank you, guys. Any doubt you can pick me. Okay. So today I will update the drive. Okay. Today I will update that. Give some time, I will update.